Back with some breaking economic data.
The employment report is out, and the U.S. economy added 143,000 jobs in January, less than expected. The unemployment rate, though, came in at 4%.
Here to discuss, NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Cheung and Investopedia editor-in-chief Caleb Silver, our economic dream team. Good morning to both of you. Brian, let's start with you at the big board. Just walk us through the numbers, how they compare with previous months, and just what we're seeing by industry.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Just to add a little bit of context to those figures, which we just got from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, some good news that the unemployment rate did tick down to 4% in the month of January. You'll see that is a little bit of an increase from what we saw earlier in 2023, but certainly an improvement when you see those 4.2% figures we had seen only a few months ago. But look, when it comes to that headline number, 143,000 jobs added in the month of January. That's actually a little bit below what we were expecting going into this jobs report. Those on Wall Street had been forecasting something like 169,000 jobs added in the month. So certainly a little bit disappointing on that front. There were revisions, by the way, to all the prior months. We can get into that a little bit later. But when we break down the categories for where we saw the job gains in the month, the healthcare industry adding 44,000 jobs almost. And then leisure and hospitality. This is an interesting one. These are the bars and restaurants that drove a lot of the post-pandemic gains. We saw a contraction in this industry, losing about 3,000 jobs. And then manufacturing, this is a big one as well, adding 3,000 jobs as well. So again, a lot of interesting threads from this January jobs report.
Wow, what a gain there in healthcare. Caleb, let's bring you in here to talk about what these numbers really mean. Put it in context. Health of our economy, health of jobs market.
I wouldn't focus too much on the lower than expected number, 143,000. That's actually a normal rate of job growth, a replacement level. So when we get 250, 300,000 job gains, that is way above average. So this is kind of normal. We expected this, but wages are interesting here. Another jump in wages, now at a 4.1% annual rate. People are getting paid more than the rate of inflation right now, if you look at those numbers. But when you look at where the job declines were, this is interesting because it's going to change. Mining, quarrying, oil and gas extraction, all of those sectors are now in the Trump administration's favor. We'll probably see a lot more hiring in those sectors going forward. But looking forward as well, we'll probably see bigger job losses because of some of the government buyouts, but also some of the contractors associated with the government. This actual 143,000 number might be a high watermark for a while.
So, Brian, obviously right now we've been talking a lot about the Trump administration offering these buyouts to federal employees. We wouldn't see that in a January jobs report. We could see it in the future. But talk more about how much of the workforce we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's an important point you bring up, Joe, because this period that was surveyed for the January numbers, they came before inauguration. So we would not have seen the impact of anything Trump administration related. But I want to set the tone for what we'll watch for in the future jobs report. When you take a look at, again, these are not changes. This is just the straight level of how many federal employees there are. If you exclude the Postal Service, 2.4 million federal government workers. As a share of the overall workforce, it's only 1.5%. But the Trump administration and Elon Musk, of course, want these numbers to go down. If we do see indeed that case of 60,000, let's just go with that as the estimate right now for how many buyouts there could be. Well, 60,000 as a fraction of the 2.4 million really actually isn't all that much, but 60,000 on a monthly basis would certainly make that headline number go down, which is the reason why, as you mentioned just with Caleb, that could really set a high watermark for the 140,000 or so that we saw added in the month in January.
Absolutely. Caleb, give it to us. Countdown.
Countdown's about 41 days and 5 hours and 32 minutes. The Fed's not doing anything for a while. The Fed sees this labor market and says there's plenty of jobs out there. Wage growth is not that extensive. It's growing a little bit. So there's plenty of jobs out there. The economy's growing. We got that GDP report from last year. So I don't think they're going to do anything until June, unless they are forced to do so. That would be very interesting. We're going to see this dynamic play out at the next Fed meeting in March.
Brian, jobs report, we also see something that's known as the standard annual revisions. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, this is something very unique to just the January jobs report. Now, they basically look back at the previous year of all the data that we talk about on a monthly basis, and they revise it to reflect more complete data that they get from unemployment insurance claims. They really want to make sure that the data is as accurate as it can be, even after they've already published it. So in this January report, they did look back at the previous years of all the job gains that they had originally said were added, and they actually did say that it was overstated by almost 600,000 jobs. Now, again, as a representation of the overall jobs force, that impact is not all that substantial. And in fact, when it comes to the yearly revisions that we see when it comes to these January jobs report in years past, those revisions have only accounted for about +1 or -0.1 of the total employment over the last 10 years. So you're going to see some chatter over this. Oh my gosh, there were almost 600,000 fewer jobs created than we thought in the 2024. But again, I want to point out that as a percentage of the overall workforce, it's not as much. But certainly, again, these annual revisions really kind of solidifying and making sure that the data that we had reported over the last year or so is truly the best because of that more updated data.
Caleb, real quick, just distill this. What's it mean for consumers?
Yeah, there's 6.8 million unemployed people out there. There's 7.5 million jobs available. If you just lost your job, you're looking for a job, there are jobs available. Brian showed you the sectors that are hiring. The economy is moving along. It's not a bonfire, but it's a nice barbecue. The economy's growing right now, and there are plenty of jobs.
That's a new one. I like that.
Good image heading into the weekend. All right. Brian, Caleb, thank you both. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.